We've spoken last night about absent fathers. What is the impact on you as a kid growing up? I mean, we're talking about specifically fathers. Because Anel lost a father when she was really young. And I had a father that wasn't really that present.
My father wasn't there in my life. I have a lot of emotional trauma from that. Especially as a teenager, I think that was the most difficult time in my life. That's a time where you kind of like try to find yourself. Who am I? What do I like? Where do I come from? What parts of my mom do I have? What parts of my dad do I have? And obviously there are questions left unanswered because I never really knew my father.
How old were you when he...
I was 8 when he passed away, but I was, I think, 3 when they got a divorce. So I never really knew my father that well because since the age of 3, I never really saw him again. I do have memories, not a lot. So he was a police officer, so I remember driving in the police van with him.
Why were you in the police van with him?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Sounds illegal.
Yes, but I can remember that. And we were driving along the railway station.
Where was this?
In Karasburg. I grew up in Namibia, in Karasburg. We stayed there. And then I also remember the night where my mother finally decided enough is enough. They were fighting and like throwing things at each other. I remember that vividly. And then I remember when they were separated, my dad tried to, contact me, make contact with me, but I was always scared and I always hid in the toilet.
It's interesting how when you say that you remember that you were only 3 years old, which also makes us think as parents as well, because we have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and how they will also remember things. And I think parents don't always realize that kids remember these things. I remember that Ellie said something that we did during COVID, and she would say like, "Can you remember that we jogged together?" And I was like,
How do you remember
that you were?
But yeah, it's interesting because children, obviously, big things happening in their life, they remember. So I remember trauma, and it's still impacting me today. I'm 33 years old. It was a long time ago. It was 30 years ago, but it still has that emotional effect on me.